Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Happy Wednesday
Welcome.
to all of you guys out there.
Yes, happy Wednesday. We're
Welcome.
back again after two
Yeah,
weeks.
we're back. So here we are, the two ladies on Wednesday night. I'm Pauline Teo, and I have.
Rockin' Rachel. You can call me
That's right.
Rachel.
Yep,
Yeah.
we've got Rockin' Rachel in the house today.
Yep,
So I
yep,
think
yep.
it's pretty exciting, right, Rachel? If I'm not mistaken, tonight we have a pretty good, interesting guest speaker
Yeah, we
that
have a
is
doctor in the
with
house.
us.
We have a doctor in
Yeah,
the
we've
house.
got a doctor in the house. That's right. So today is actually our fifth episode, okay, of our season one. And tonight
Yeah.
we have Dr. Nurrul that will be sharing with us journey towards financial independence. And I think very, very hot question that we have for her is how to really have that millionaire mindset and how do we actually hit towards that journey of financial independence, which
Yeah.
it's everything, I mean, everyone's favorite topic and also something that all of us aspire to do, isn't it, Rachel?
Yeah. So if you want financial independence, quickly type in the comments financial independence. Then you'll get it. Okay.
Yes, that's true. Okay. And with that
Right.
said as well, we want to do something like first and foremost, share with you who is Wednesday Night with Two Ladies. This particular group that we have established, or this, this sharing session, is predominantly to help people like you out there who is actually interested to find out more on areas which is, what we talk about hope and love, and we want to share, more about personal development, how to actually do that. And it's through self-love, it's through, the journey of, your relationships, your health, as well as parenting skills for those who are parents here. Right,
Yeah.
Rachel?
Exactly.
So,
So we'll basically
yeah,
tie in all these pillars with we invite guest speakers who are expert in these areas, but we
yeah,
also bring in elements of finance to help you to manage your finances according that can help you better in these areas as well. Because money
that's
actually
right.
touches every area of our lives, whether we like it or not, right, Pauline?
That's very true. That's very,
Yeah.
very true. Yeah. So I think this is actually where we would actually urge a lot of you out there, who's tuning in, do ask your questions. Feel free, whenever our speakers are sharing on anything, do feel free to, throw the questions and we see whether we can help to answer those questions. So now what we're going to do is we're going to share with you, because we do this every two
2 weeks.
times a month, right? So the next speaker, we would like to just share with you who the upcoming speaker is for episode 6.
So the
I think
next
all of us are
speaker.
very, very much concerned with what's happening with COVID situation. So we've actually brought in a medical doctor. Okay, he's
Yeah.
actually with the Ministry of Health, and we're going to talk about this topic, COVID and beyond. Okay, so being a
Right.
frontliner himself, he
Funny
is
story.
very happy to share. Okay, but I think we're quite lucky, right, Rachel, to have him on with us, to become the next speaker. And he is basically going to be sharing with us, what are things that we should look into and how do we better take care of ourselves, even though we've already had our vaccinations. Is that right, Rachel?
Yeah, like what he was actually sharing with us a bit. So like we were discussing with him, looking at the current state of COVID, and he also was
Yeah,
telling that we got to be prepared. It's not like something that's going to disappear in a short term. It's going to
that's
be
right.
here quite some time. So how do we prepare
Yes,
ourselves for it? So this is what we're going to look
very,
at
very
next,
true.
right? So
Yep,
with that, you guys might as well subscribe to our channel so you don't miss that episode.
that's a
And
good thing.
because we whenever we go live, you'll be updated, so you won't miss
Yep.
the next episode, right, Polly?
Yeah, that's right. So I think there is a logo right down on your left hand side, right hand side. Okay, where you see the two ladies, that logo, just click on it and you'll be able to subscribe to us so that you get reminded, okay, for our next episodes. Okay, so now with that said, if I'm not mistaken, this very month, we do have Dr. Nurrul with us right here on back stage right now, and she's dying to come in front. Okay, so shall we actually, bring her on? But before that, Rachel, would you do the honors to introduce her?
All right. So I was we were talking with Dr. Nurrul just now, and then she was
Mhm.
telling us about her cute cats. So she is a mother
Yeah,
of 4, and she has two
amazingly.
cute cats with her. All
Mhm.
right, and she is actually she's one person that which I feel, like really takes a lot of initiative in personal development, not
Oh,
just
yes.
on personal side. She also takes it in terms of career. Professionally, she does develop herself a lot. So
That's true.
she's a certified professional coach
Mm-hmm.
and masteries practitioner from the
Yeah,
International of Coaching Association. All right, and she's
that's right.
also a member of the International Council of Small Business. So now
Mm-hmm.
you know why she has also started up writing. She has a blog which is doing really well, and she writes on www.warungusahawan.com. And
That's
what she
right.
writes about is basically helping a lot of people who are looking to make it. Make it through to starting up their businesses, and how can they, get help, because some of y'all may be entrepreneurs out there, and you guys know that it's not easy going alone.
Oh,
You
and not
definitely,
just for entrepreneurs currently, even aspiring startups, okay, people who are thinking of becoming an entrepreneur themselves. This is where
yeah,
Dr. Nurul also be able to help you, right? So
yes, yes,
this is actually a very interesting person that you really don't want to miss out connecting with her. So yeah. So with
so
that said,
let's bring up the guest.
let's do that. So drum roll, here we have Dr. Nurul.
Dr. Nurul. Hi,
Hi.
doctor.
Hi, doctor. How are you doing?
I'm so excited. So much love for the introduction.
Yes, yes, because we feel it so came from our
Yeah, yeah, we
hearts.
do. We definitely do. Okay, but before we actually start today's session, right, Rachel, if you can go back to the next slide that you have, we
Cool, wait,
also,
all right.
we also want to share with everybody, Selamat Hari Merdeka. We just celebrated this like 8 days back, okay? So in terms of this, happy Merdeka to all of you guys out there who celebrated the 64th Independence Day, right, from the time that we got our independence. So, and it's so funny, as we were talking earlier on, so happened, we're talking about financial independence, and it's actually the Independence Month. So I think this really has quite an interesting reason why this topic was actually chosen, right, Dr. Nurul?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
fantastic. I think it's macam kena lah. I mean, with the month and the
Yeah,
topic,
correct,
yeah.
correct. And I definitely think it's no coincidence, lah, right, that this happened. So I think
Yeah.
without spending too much time on other things, let's just focus on Dr. Nurul right now, whereby I think a lot of us are very curious on your personal journey, right? Because we're talking about your journey. Can you just share with us in terms of what made you go all the way to PhD? What inspired you?
Yeah, thank you very much, Pauline. I should thank you, you and also Rachel for inviting me to this stage to share about my life experience. And before I start, I'm just saying that the life is just amazing, and I always say this to myself every day.
Right.
And the big no that I would not do in my life is to say negative thing about what I have decided or what I
Mm,
have take actions on, and
okay.
what more to so called discriminate your own life. So these are things that I make sure that I fully aware to always say positive thing about myself,
Right.
but at the end of the day, I always believe that there's always the strongest power in this that created the world. That we always go back to the God for consultations. So this is what I practiced when I was young until today, and I would
Wonderful.
always believe that regardless whatever religions, whatever races you in, every one of us that on this earth would respect people that have a good value.
Right.
Definitely, if I was saying this, I would say that I value people from what they believe in, from what they
Mm-hmm.
value themselves.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we want people to talk nicely to us. We want to talk nicely to people. We want people to talk tactfully to us, things like that.
Yeah.
So I fully
Treat others
subscribe
how
to
you want
this,
to
and
treat yourself, right?
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I dwell so much on that. Just a very short introduction about myself.
Right.
I started my life very, very early. Why do I say that? I graduated back when I was 21. At that point of
Mm.
time, I think I am very, very young, and 21 is the year that you get your key of independence, so
Betul,
that your
betul.
mom and your dad say, okay, this is the key, decide your life, things like that. So what happened is that 2 weeks after I completed my degree, I actually got a job. And
Wow.
this job is a fantastic job that I ever dreamed that I want to work in Japanese company that doing investment and derivative. So I got that job
Wow.
with a very decent
Mm.
income. And at that point of time, I was so shocked, because the place is in the middle of the city, and I have to
Mm.
take public transport every day. And I see people coming to the office with the style, their blazer, they look like they're going to office,
Yep.
corporate look.
Mm.
So imagine, very young, you were just, starting your life and see people like, dressing very well. And then suddenly banks also come to me and offer all these credit cards, and I'm so happy, see all these credit card and start spending,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just sharing this is because this session is very much related to financial. Maybe I want just to relate how do I come and go with this
Mm.
topic. So
Sure.
yeah, most of the time I'm in KLCC spending effortlessly lah. Yeah. So
Mm-mm.
6 months down the road, I actually married to a guy. He's a charming prince that I ever dreamed. He's an army officer some more. So it was like,
Wow.
wow. So everything come very fast to me,
Mm.
Cut short, a few months after that, I got pregnant. That is going to be my first baby ever. That I'm going to celebrate this in a very different way, lah. Um, I do not know that the second trimester is quite struggle for me. So I decided to tell the company that I just want to take unpaid leave.
I see.
So this is where the financial crisis happened to me lah. I just do not want to share my financial issues with my husband. I say it's okay.
Mm-mm.
I just can manage lah, tak bayar my credit cards, things like that. So I feel that at that point of time, I just want to focus, give birth to this baby and give her a better life.
Mm-mm.
So unpaid for few months plus confinement. It took like a while. I think all the credit card ban turns bad, and I actually need to
Right.
structure all the credit cards, and I have to pay
Mm-mm.
down the debt for almost 3 years. So it
Wow.
was really, really a painful experience for me, because whatever salary that I earn now, I have to like settle down the earning. It is more than 50% of my, taking off my 50% of my salary.
That's right.
So yeah, so it is like alarm for me, like that I need to start planning myself.
Yeah.
So I sit down and look at my financial and things like that, and after that I actually start to do short investment, I do saving, things like that. So just to share with you, so I bought my house. I consider it very young when I was 26. It was in the middle of the city, and this
Right.
is a starting point that I'm serious about my life. And I sit down and think, if I just have a degree at that point of time, and if I have a house, I have a family, is that enough for me to sustain until I'm retired?
Mm-mm.
So at that point of time, I start planning, because I do
Right.
feel that if you want to be successful, you need other additional papers to build your credential. So at that point of time, I was in investment bank, and I decided to actually do my masters. At the same time, I actually do few other papers to build up my credential, because if not, I'm going to suffer to students or graduates from foreign universities. They coming back, they can speak very well,
Mm.
they are holding degree from X university, which is US or probably UK, things like that. I need to compete with them, you know
Right.
so this is where the self transformation happened. I spend my money for my educations, as well as the buying books, because I just want to be good. Because when you talk to investors or you talk to a financial analyst, you do not want to look dumb. So
That's
I just
true.
make sure that every day I wake up early, listen to Bloomberg, Reuters, and do my research before I actually make calling and talk to them every day. So those are
Mm.
experience that I have when I was in investment bank. So cut short, what happens that after that, I was tested by the God lah, I would say that. When I almost reaching my 30th birthday, what happened is that I was meet very severe accident in my life. Then
Oh,
this is another wake up call that 6 months I was bedridden very badly, and I'm the whole body was actually wearing some sort like a cast, so that it would actually lock my head so that my head would not move so much, giving not so much pressure
support,
to
is
my
it?
neck, things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was really really a painful experience.
Wow.
And I thank God because of that. It actually knocked out another opportunity for me that I think I need to pursue something that can make other people's life better, you know. So that's why I'm thinking that at that point of time, INSEF is opening PhD, and I see that Islamic finance could be a way for me to help people, because it's not because
Right.
of the word Islamic, but because of the things that we are going to look is beyond banking and finance. So these are things that I would say that actually throw me to another arena, which is what I'm doing now. I'm in actually in entrepreneurship. This is another segment that I would say at that point of time banks are not really happy to finance SMEs.
Yeah.
They maybe they have in their portfolio, but the exposure was not that big as today. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I'm happy that the decision that I made to for a second call in life is something that very very meaningful, that I would love to share with everybody here. Yeah,
Right. Right.
that's not really a short introduction, right?
No,
No,
it
but I
was such
think
a
it's a
meaningful
very
one.
meaningful one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it is.
Yeah, my
I don't think
goodness.
so many of us have such wake up calls or even inspirations, in order
Yeah.
to
Mm,
have personal realization. I think in order for us to, kind of like figure out what can we do more, not just for ourselves, but also for society, people around us, for the betterment of people. So I think this is actually a very interesting sharing actually from Dr. Nurul herself on her
Yeah.
journey of discovering, how to fix things which are broken, especially the finances, thanks to credit
mm,
card, okay, at a very early stage. Okay, so I think this is actually a lot of good realizations for people who are younger generation here to benefit from today's learning, what we can actually do better when we are younger. So in terms
Yeah.
of this, Dr. Nurul, what were some of the areas that you feel that personal development really, really is key, and what can you actually maybe like help to guide others that's listening in today? Yeah.
okay, this is very interesting, because for me personal development sometimes would not come to an individual very early.
Mm-mm.
This is it happened to me because I'm doing my soul searching. So
Right.
I will sit down and ask the God, why is this happen to me, you know? So I
Mm.
just realized that I'm academically I am good. This is what I feel about myself. I know the subject matter very well. But why is these things happen to me when even I think I've shared when I was just started my LinkedIn journey recently. I mean actively, I've shared about my experience being promoted at a very young age.
Okay.
So I was asking myself, I'm a performer. I know that I can achieve the goal very, very easy. But
Mm-mm.
when I got promoted, this is where the challenge happened. You know, people don't like you, you know. People feel
Right.
that you just an ass, you know. People feel that you just every day you pressure them with numbers. So I was
Mm.
thinking, why these people do not want to follow what I'm telling them? Is that
Right.
because I'm not good? I'm actually, you know, track record, I am performer. So when this thing happens to me, I actually doing my soul searching and find that self-development is another part that I need to master. And slowly I pick up from there. But I think during this pandemic is the self-realizations comes very very intense to myself lah. Why I say so? Because I start follow Robin Sharma. I think I share a lot about him because I
Mm.
wish that one day he can become one of my guru. You know, I can see him,
Okay.
and
Okay.
but things that he shared in one of his YouTube is that the formula of 3 times 2 times 2. So he was saying that in order for you to double your income,
Mhm.
you need to triple your effort in your self-development by engaging in two areas. The two
Right.
areas is, the first one is self-mastery, and the second part is basically your professional capabilities. So I
Right.
would say that every one of us on the professional capabilities, that is what we are doing. If we are working with companies helping us to plan for our own self-development in regards to this area. But when
Right.
it comes to self-mastery, is something that you need to go and find it. And there are four
Yep.
areas that I think he mentioned here, is that the first part is the mindset. This is only contained of the 25% of
Mm-mm.
the self-mastery. So when we talk about self-mastery, it's pretty much the first part is the mindset. So mindset is when you read, when you learn from somebody, or probably you attend classes, when you talk to somebody who are subject matter expert, when you every day when you wake up you do reflection, or before you sleep you do reflection, how much are you far
Mm.
from whatever that you need to achieve. And
Right.
sometimes you may also need situations that it going to be a quiet place that you do meditations.
Mm-mm.
And to a certain extent, sometimes when you want to achieve your success, you will visualize that one day you will become somebody like that there. Sometimes you might also wanted to to see the environments that you are in. And this is something that I realized, at this point of time, you really really need to kill the energy vampire. I have shared also this in one of my LinkedIn posts, is that when we talk about energy vampire, is the people that basically go to you, it's not because they are happy to celebrate your success.
Yep.
They are happy to tell you that you are not going to get what you want. You just nuts. You're just not
Mm.
able. Things like that. The person who are going to pull your energy. So you need to remove these people politely, or probably unpolitely, is up to you. But just need to distance yourself from this kind of people.
Right. The
So
toxic people, right?
exactly, they are probably. I have these conversations when I talk to this person. He said that the energy vampire that I have is my family, my
Mm-mm.
sisters, my brothers. So I said to him is that in order for you to success, then probably you need to politely disengage yourself. I mean, whenever he or she trying to touch the area that you are not comfortable with, try, find a way how you can divert the conversations. That the most polite way that you can do lah. But if
Mm.
there are probably uncles or aunties that sometimes say hello during Hari Raya or something like that, this is more easiest for you to remove them. For me, I can do that, you know. Exactly, because I need a positive environment. Exactly,
That's
you
right.
know. Yeah. So the first thing is mindset. This is psychology that help you out. The second part is the heart set. So heart set would basically ranging about your emotional. So if you cannot manage your emotion, then this is another part that you need to build up. So these contribute another 25%. So whatever informations that you get, uh, regardless is negative or positive, you should be able to create your own boundaries. So
Right.
if you feel that the energy that you're going to absorb is probably not really a positive energy, then you should find a way how you can, tai chi this out from yourself. So the way you process, you need to learn, and then how you release the toxic. So every day when, especially when you are talking to people, you are absorbing the energy. So you need to know
Mm.
how to release the toxic. And whenever people talk things that you really, really feel hurt, you must know how to heal your wounds.
Mm.
This is where your emotional IQ,
Your
and
self-love comes in.
yeah, exactly. This is where gratitude is important. Things that you must always do every day, every
Yeah.
second, if you can. And
That's
the
true.
third part is, yeah, the third part is basically your soul set. So spirituality, how you connect back to the God, or you connect back to the Creator. How do you bring down your ego to help, to ask him for help? You know,
Mm.
Yeah.
how do you build a true connection with him? You know, not only when you are stuck, you come back to him. You know, you must come
That's
back
right.
to him every moment, every second. You know,
Mm.
Right.
and one thing that we need to remember, the shortness of life. So these are things that, you know, um recall us that during this pandemic, as much as you have availability, time and space, please do as much good thing that you can, you know, because you never know, tomorrow or probably next week you're still in this world, you know.
That's
Yeah.
true.
These are, you know, the shortness of life. And the last part is basically health. So health are very important. Need to do your exercise, take a proper nutrition, rest, sleep, make sure that you are comply with your hygiene kind of like SOP. And then most important thing is to do the relaxation. You know, all these are very
Mm.
important. So
That's true.
yeah,
So like
these
the
are
four
things that I
is
can
mindset,
relate.
mindset,
Mindset,
heart set.
and
Emotion,
then emotions,
the soul set, and
uh,
health
Emotion is
set.
part of heart
soul
set, right?
set, and health set.
Okay.
Yeah, emotion is the heart set. So mindset, heart set, soul set, and health set. So these are four things that mentioned by Robin Sharma. So I every day I would recall, you know, this, so that I whenever I stuck, these are things that I need to go back. You know, it is not merely mindset, but all these things has to come together.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Actually, it's very true, like
Mm.
Dr. Nurrul, like you can't just focus on one area of your life. I can really relate to what you said about personal development only comes to you when you're really soul searching, because
Yeah.
that's also what happened to me. I was soul searching. That's where I started getting all these books and all these kind of things to explore, right? So,
Mm.
audience, if you're getting some value out of this, please type what you're learning so we can, what is Dr. Nurrul can see where to focus on more. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
um,
but just I would just like to very quickly say hello to some of the guests who's saying hello to us. Okay,
can,
we've got our famous CA.
Sati man.
Okay, he wants to know ada hadiah tak being the first year.
yeah,
Tak
got.
ada.
Straight to
Of
the point.
course. Ada ada.
Got
The
hadiah
hadiah is
straight to the
Dr.
end.
Nurrul. Okay, then we also have Vivian.
Vivian.
Vivian is here
Hi,
as
Vivian.
well. We also have Wansin with us.
Hi, Wansin.
Hey, hi Wansin. And also Lina's here.
Hello.
Hi
Okay, and
Lina.
we also have Jeannie with us. Yeah, Jeannie's with us
Ye-
today. And she paid attention.
Hello.
She's heard Energy Vampire. So
Nice.
yes.
Oh,
Okay.
that's great.
So yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
All
So
right.
with that said, you have another question for Dr. Nurul, right, Rachel?
Yeah. So, Dr. Ra, I noticed that, you mentioned your story and all that it came early for you, personal development came early for you. But what about the youngsters today, or rather Malaysians in general? Like, how do you think, or what is the issues do you think they face to actually start up this personal development? Because, like, today, in today's world, personal development is like already all around us, especially during this pandemic. I see a lot of experts giving out free life, free courses. Hi Guna. Free, a lot of free stuff, but we seem to tend to not do it. We seem to still stay in our cocoon. So what do you think
Yeah.
is the issues that doesn't really push people towards personal development?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Um, okay. This is probably I would scoop it to from my experience. Uh, Along my career journey, I actually met a lot of people and a lot of types of leaders, and I am actually grateful enough. I met a few that I can call mentor.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah. So when you meet these kind of people that you can call mentor, this is a person that come to me and said, Nurul, your job here is not just a job, you know. This is the vision, this is a passion. So at first when I was young, like other graduates, the one thing that I want is to get a salary and then enjoy life. You know,
Mm.
that's where my credit card got four kan. So that is where I want to look good. You know, I want to show my classmate that although I play a lot in class, but I can get a job and have whatever people have at that point of
Mm.
time. But when I meet all these inspiring leaders, the life has changed slowly. I have a casual talk with my leader and actually seek for their view, and they started to tell me what I need to do in order for me to be there, for example. Or I have a leader who said that for me, I'm not a person who are hung up for position. I'm
Mm.
here for a reason. Because sometimes I was just wondering, he has been here like uh, tukon now, we call it, or structure for like 20 years. I'm just wondering why we are young people hopping from one organization to another. And then one day I was asking him, I said, boss, can I sit down and ask you one question? Say, come into my room and talk. And he said that, I'm different from you, Nurul. I'm here for a reason. I have
Mm.
worked for various organizations. This is the organization that taught me that we are here for purpose to help others. So I was thinking like, what? Still got this kind of people in this world? But probably when I reach my age now, I understand what he said. Because
Mm.
when you already have a few things, the basic things, I always say this. I'm a humble person. As long as my car got 4 tires that can bring me from one destination to another destination, for me is sufficient. As long I has a small house that can equip the 4 kids and the 2 cats and one husband, I'm okay. And as long as the kids have their saving for education, I'm good. So other than that, I'm not a person that going for all these expensive item. I am so happy with that.
Mm.
So for me, what else I need in life? Because of the shortness of life just now, is there anything else I can do? I know that I don't have so much money. Is there any other things else that I can do? So what I do recently, I start talking to young people, because I know young people is our generations for tomorrow.
Our
So
future.
yeah, for future. So what I did is that I have a casual talk about what they wanted to do, and as I wanted to be like a leader or a mentor that I've met in the past. I just want to tell them it's okay for you to be ambitious of having a good positions or whatever. Go ahead. But remember, every one of us here got purpose in life.
Mm.
If you do not want to help others, it's fine. But remember, the first things that you have to help is your parents. That's the
Yeah.
first thing. Then only you expand a little bit the radius, which is the family. Then you expand a little bit radius, your community, and then you expand as much
Yes.
as you can.
Correct.
So that's
Correct.
how you start small. Hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
Correct.
Nice, nice,
That's
nice.
true. So, in
Very
terms
good.
of this, right, I think Dr. Nurul, you mentioned something very interesting just now on personal development and finances, right? What, in your opinion, like, how are they in any way linked?
Yeah, because my experience is that in order for me to achieve what I achieved today, require a lot of sacrifice, and it require a lot of efforts. So it somehow you would say that you cannot be a manager or you cannot be a general manager if you don't have two things. One is your credential, and
Mm-mm.
when you don't have leadership.
Right.
So obviously, as what John Maxwell say, there are 5 levels of leadership that you should know. The first
Mm-mm.
one is the level one, very easy, everybody can go, which is the position. I am manager, you should listen to me. Yeah, you will have that for a few months
Yeah.
lah. After that, everyone my one will start tendering their. So you only from 10, you maybe have 5 people working with you. So if you
Mm-mm.
don't have the skills, then you will end up level one until forever. For me, I want to achieve level five. So level five is I have people who follow me because of my values, because they
Yeah.
can see a vision that I carry with me. It's not because
Mm-hmm.
of only the organization visions to be, something, but they say that, hey, we should together with Nurul because Nurul have bigger visions to help our entrepreneurs, for example. So I have a lot of young people working with me in my current organizations. So this is something that if I have chance to talk about my passion and about my leadership, I would love to share a lot with them, because I always say this to them: if I can be a manager at this age, for you, your credential and your performance, I would definitely see things come much easier for you guys. And
Yeah.
one thing that I would not do is to talk negative about their performance. That one I would never do. You know, if I see there's a things that they need to improve, I will slowly say that, hey, maybe you should do this more. You know, these are areas that you put in.
Focus on
Yeah,
the strength, right, rather than the weaknesses.
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's a
That's
very
very
good
true.
point. Like you, I guess, like, nowadays, even when I learn about management and all, right, the key to leading a right team is to compliment first, then only you criticize. And when you criticize, also it's positive criticism, and you
Constructive.
should do it in, yeah, and you should do it in private, not in front of people. So
Correct.
it really messes with a person's mind when you humiliate them in front of a lot of people. So
Yep.
yeah, so I guess, yeah, that is a
Right.
true aspect
Yeah,
of a man.
correct, Rachel. I have went through this experience. I'm not ashamed about sharing about this. Um, when I was at certain age, I'm managing a very difficult team. So I have a very difficult boss instead. So one day he called me and said, this is how you need to do. Follow my way. So
Mm.
I tiru exactly how he managed the team. And that's where I actually make a big mistake in my life. And
Mm-mm.
I do not want to repeat it again. I humiliate my team in front of people. I just shut out, I got complained straight away to HR, and HR called me and said that, Nurul, why you changed suddenly? What happened to you? So I don't dare to say lah, because of the advice from the boss. But at the end of the day, I realized that when you make a mistake, you have to honor it. When you make a mistake, when somebody advises you, you are rational people. You should be able to decide whether this is a good practice or this is not a good practice. But at that point of time, I just literally take everything for good, and I actually emulate the same thing. So I basically, this is the biggest mistake that I've made in life that I do not want to repeat. And when I look
I
at
mean,
whatever people have done the same thing, I feel very sad to that person. And if I got opportunity, I find a way to to tell. I think there's a better way to talk to the team rather than shout and make them embarrassed in front of others. That's not the way that we should do.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. Yeah.
Mm.
So, Dr. Nurrul, you mentioned just now about personal development and, like looking at your story, so you must have gone through many courses. Education-wise, not cheap as well. How did you manage, like, how do you have like a system where you allocate certain month, this much of money goes towards finance, sorry, towards personal development, or, do you have such a plan like that, or how do you fund your personal
How did you
development?
balance between, funding for the education and the path, of personal development?
Honestly, I can see a difference. My degree was because I get a scholarship from Telecom. So it was like a free money, just go and play, then at the end of the day, complete. But then when I do my master's and also PhD is on my self-funding. So it's totally a different experience. I know at the end of the month, I only have a 3 months for every semester. So 3 months, I normally take 2 or 3 subjects. So I know that every subject cost me about 1,500. So I know at the third month, I need to pay about 4,500. If I don't pay, I would
You can't
not get my
continue.
exam slip. Exam slip,
Correct.
Oh,
I couldn't get into the exam hall. So
Mm.
every month, I make sure that I allocate some money for that, and it's quite extensive because 1,500 for subjects. So 3 subject was like how much.
Right.
So what I do is that when I need to do that, I need to save a lot. So I cut down unnecessary expenses. We don't go holiday. My husband was quite accommodating. He said it's okay holiday. We can do once a year, but I would belanja you lah. So
Oh.
yeah.
so sweet.
On top of that, yeah, on top of that, I actually do savings and put aside money for my insurance, because I
Mm-mm.
know every day, we do not know when we are going to die.
Yeah.
So those
Yep.
are things that it's quite suffering, just to tell you the truth is that I know that every month that I want to spend, I this much is only for groceries. The rest is mommy is going to put money inside, the saving accounts, investment accounts, and also to the education fund.
Mm-mm.
But Alhamdulillah, I have done that, So now it's time to save more so that you're prepared for your rainy days. Mm.
But I
Yeah.
guess, Dr. Nurul, this is one of the best investments that one can make for ourselves, isn't it? Personal development. Because I think at
Yeah.
the end of the day, we can see that the results is really rewarding. By
Mm.
taking care of ourselves first, we're able to reach out and help more people in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to share. I got two advice from my one is from my professor, another one is from my mentor. So
Mm-mm.
the first one, he told me this: you are doing your PhD. It's not because you want to be academician, right? I don't think that you want to be lecturer, because I don't see you do additional paper beside your thesis paper. So I told him, definitely yes. I do not want lah, because I see that I wanted to go to a corporate world first, contributing in
Mm-mm.
my own way. If you want to move the mountain, you need to do something lah. So
Yeah.
I told him that I need this PhD because of I wanted to be successful in corporate world. So he was telling me this educations that you are doing now, your PhD is your insurance, so that
Mm-mm.
anytime if corporate will tell you this lah, I do not need Nurul in these organizations. You can always come
Mm-mm.
back to me and do teaching.
Right.
The day that you join me, then these are things that is more practical because you have been there and doing that. So that is
Mm-mm.
my
Mm.
insurance. And
Right.
then the second thing that I remember my mentor told me recently is that if let's say one day your organization
Mm-mm.
do not want you, and it taking out your positions, no manager in front, no head in front, or no general
Mm-mm.
manager in front, what will be you? Who will be Nurul in front of others people's eyes?
Yep.
So
Yep.
this one really like macam hit me straight away at my face. So I said,
Mm-mm.
I
Mm.
want people to know me because whatever that I'm doing. So whatever that I'm doing currently is, I actually do, as what you do introduction. I basically wanted to invest more time on writing on things that I know through my blog. At the same
Right.
time, I wanted to help SMEs in my own way lah. Mm.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
I think, Dr. Nurul, that's another question that a lot of people are very interested to find out. And I think you touched on it on detail during the start, right? Talking about the mindset, the $1 million, the millionaires should actually have, right? Would it be any different from the four areas that you've actually shared in terms of, the mindset, and how would it be different anyway?
Okay. If I want to summarize this
Mm-mm.
in a very simple way, I would, if I can relate this to my life lessons experience,
Mm-mm.
important thing that you must always know that you need to be truthful to yourself. This is very important, because you can lie others but you cannot lie to yourself. The moment you lie to yourself, then you're not being authentic. So
Mm-mm.
let's say you are saying outside that I am the entrepreneur's whisperer. So I'm telling the world that I'm an entrepreneur's whisperer, but
Yep.
back end I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, what I'm preaching. So when I'm not
Mm-mm.
truthful to myself, so these are another things that it is very, very much going back to what you call that, to your belief system. And the second part that I would say that focus on what that you good at. By the time you focus, basically you are able to expand more. Like for example, when I
Mm-mm.
start with finance. Then after that, I see there's an area that I can be good at, which is entrepreneurship. Then I
Zoom in.
actually dig further, zooming further, and I say, hey, I have done capacity building, I've done research, I have done advisory. What are the things that I should do? And I realized that there's another area that maybe I can help is to motivate people who are really in needs, which is the business people. That's where I actually jump into professional business coaching. And
Mm-mm.
these are areas that I'm looking at deepen it further.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, these are areas that probably you need to look at what you get, what actually you're good at. You can be generalist when you are young, you know.
Mm-mm.
You can be very adventurous when you're young, but when I reach already my age, I need to focus on area that I can expand. And
Right.
then the third thing that I would say, success start with small steps, and it has to be routine. And I think whoever read books on atomic habits by James Clear, you must always remember, when you tie back your routine to your goals, then you know why you are doing what you are doing today. You know, even
Mm-mm.
it is very, very small, but you know, it accumulate to whatever goals that you wanted to. And the
Right.
fourth one that I always believe is that be a giver. When you be a giver, especially when you make other people's wins together with you, this is where the impact could be multiple, it could be quadruple, and etc., etc., etc. You know,
Mm.
and this is meaning that you are not longer being self-centric. So it is very difficult, easy to say, but it is very, very difficult to do. Where
Yeah,
you need to
that's
bring
right.
down your ego and think about others.
Mm-mm.
And the fifth thing that I always remind myself is enhance your social skills. So social skills is totally different from technical skills. So technical skills, whatever that credential papers semua you dah ada tu, but you have to remember, if you don't have the social skills, then whatever that you have will not be connected to human being, which is the people that you are going to interact or transact and things like that. And I
Mm-mm.
always remind myself, when you build relationship, be sincere about why you actually get connected to that person.
Right.
So don't have something that back in mind, I'm gonna talk to for example, I'm gonna talk to Pauline because very soon
Mm-mm.
Pauline going to invest to me on 100 millions or something like that, you know. So
Mm-mm.
you be sincere, but because you do not know, maybe it's not 1 million that he's gonna give to you, 100 million, maybe 1 billion. You know, you
Yeah.
don't know how much money that he has, you know.
Correct. Correct. That's actually a
Yeah.
very good point. I think when you genuinely really want to help people, right, they themselves would know it. And,
Yeah,
the trust is actually built in that sense because the relationship's already there.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Just like
And the last part
this
that I will
reminds.
have yeah,
Go ahead, Daphne.
yeah. Yeah, and the last one that I this is what I always advise people is that
Mm-mm.
spend your precious 1 hour uh in quiet place, you know, do meditations and see how you can get connected closer to the creator. So this is very difficult to do. It's not easy also. Most of the time when we pray, but we pray because somebody tell us that we need to pray. If not pray, then you basically commit a sin, you know. So for
Mm-mm.
us, like at that point of time, when I was young, I was told this way. But as I grow older, I understand why I need to go back to the God, you know, and ask for help. Because
Right.
if you don't do that every day, you get disconnected with the creator, and you feel that, you know, when you lost, you burn out, you do not know what are the best place ever that you can go back and ask for help, you know.
Yeah. That's very
So I
true.
think, yeah, if I were to summarize that, these are compromising four areas that, you know, I would say in my personal
Mm-mm.
experience.
That is actually very good advice, I would say, right, Rocking Rachel?
Extremely good advice. Like I will now try to meditate for. I can't really meditate for very long, but I'll try for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Then I'm on to 1 hour.
So I think the other interesting question, right, Dr. Nurrul, and I'm also very aware of the time now, right? So in terms of this, right, when we talk about people who want to self-develop themselves, and most of us maybe we feel that we haven't been doing it and we don't really know how to do it, right? What is your advice as to what to focus first? So I think Rachel, you had a poll, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. So I
So
think a lot of people think that, by reading books, or even asking for help from an advisor, this is what is, one way how they can actually improve their literacy. But in your opinion, right, what is the best way for us to start, in terms of personal development? Where should we start?
For me, I will start with two things above all this. The
Mm-mm,
first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to go back to myself and ask myself why my big why, why I am doing what I'm doing.
mm-mm,
So once you know why you are you doing it because you want to get more money? Are you doing it because there are obligations that you need to do to somebody that you have promised earlier or something like that? Then
mm-mm,
after that, after you have clear what your big why you're doing what you're doing, then the second thing that I always do is I will have a conversations, and this
mm-mm,
conversation must be selected so that you know
mm-mm,
that probably you have three person that you want to talk to. First,
mm-mm,
probably your parents, probably. Second is somebody that you can benchmark, and probably this is the person that you wanted to be like. Sometimes it's very difficult. You might have like, if I would have a chance, I wouldn't be like Robin Sharma. But I know that he don't have time to talk to me yet lah. So what I do is
mm-mm.
that I listening to YouTube. I listening to his series of talk in podcast, things like that. So that
I
I
think we're
know
very
that
grateful to have YouTube today, right? Because everything is there, and so it's all free.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
exactly. So sometimes if I can be connected, these are ways that you can always get reach to these people and resonate to their values. So
Mm-mm,
after I've done that consultation, etc., then only I would actually read books, listen to friend. I basically very very selected. Reason being because I love all my friends, but as what I said just now, I would choose which energy that I want to absorb.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
So if I cannot resonate with his or her value, I would change the way I actually talk to them now. Not change the way. I know that they are so negative. The second way that I would do, I would influence them to become positive. So that's what I do, you know,
Right.
uh, to equalize the energy that he has. It's not I
Mm-mm,
don't hang up the phone and say I don't want to talk to you. No, I would talk to him, but I would
mm-mm.
change the energy. So I do believe that also lah. Mm.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
least you're
And I
helping that
think,
person.
yeah. And I think the other good point that Dr. Nurrul you mentioned is that with friends, sometimes it depends on the topic of conversation, the subject matter, right? You would rather get help or, from someone which is a subject matter expert rather than, someone that just what bising only lah, right? Just say something about the topic, but may not be the right kind of advice that you're looking for or the help that you're really looking for as well, lah,
Yeah.
right?
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
quite common example, right, is that when you hear your friends going for a weight loss program or what, right, you will hear many people telling you different things,
Oh
because
yeah.
they will pretend like they're the expert, and they sometimes
Mm.
discourage you from going through with that program, right?
Yep.
So I guess
Yeah.
this is where you need to be very mindful, lah. Like, you are seeking help. Why? The why comes into very important position here, right, Dr. Nora?
Correct, correct. Yeah, if you may allow me, I want to share a few author that I really follow. As what
Awesome.
I always mention here is Robin Sharma. He has a few books. You might want to start if you want to inculcate a very good habit. You may want to start with his book on 5 a.m. Club. This is one of the awesome book that I've met.
Yep.
He has a book on a man who sold his Ferrari, and then he has another book that I would say, which is a very good book also. Uh, Let me recall that a leader without title.
This is
Yeah,
like
Mm-hmm.
a
Robin
leader
Sharma.
without title. Because most of the time people wait until they got position or they appointed as a minister, then only they want to act, becoming like
Mm-mm.
like a leader lah. So
Yep.
without having a title, basically you can lead people. So you don't
That's
have to
true.
wait until the opportunity come to you. You can always start in your own circle. And then I would also want to recommend another book or another author, Simon Sinek. He has a few
Mm-hmm.
books which I have read a lot. Start with why,
Mm-hmm.
find your why, Infinite Games, and the most books that I love is the Leaders Eat Last. So this is one of the good book that he has written.
Okay.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah. I also love another guy, another author, Jay Shetty. His book is on Think Like a Monk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
So this
yeah,
is
that's
another
a
good
good book.
book that, yeah. And I
Have you
think
read
for
it
young
already?
people, they love, yeah. I think for young people, they love Jay Shetty more than Robin because he's looking lah. Yeah.
And
Uh,
also because of social media, like he's very influential there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of
yeah.
activities that he's been doing on YouTube as well, right? That people just catch
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
video and feel very inspired. Yeah.
Exactly. Like another iconic authors on leadership, I think this is no need introduction. John C. Maxwell. He has a lot of book that
Yeah.
he has written more than 80 books altogether through his life experience. So all these
Mm-hmm.
are things that we might want to learn from them, because you imagine these people has compressed their life experience in a books.
Yeah.
So if you want to become a leader, you basically need to be a reader. Then
That's
only
true.
you learn how they manage the team, how they manage their life, and whatever leadership comes from yourself. If you can't manage yourself, how are you going out and say, I'm going to manage you guys, I'm going to be a leader for you guys? Nobody going to believe that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
That's true.
That's
That's
true.
very true.
So, Dr. Nurul, I've got one last question for you. What is your
Okay, what's that?
one key message you like our audience today to take away? Because
Hmm.
I know you said a lot of things today and a lot of great sharing, but what is one key thing you think that is important for them to, take away for today's topic?
I always say this: life is a marathon and it's not a sprint.
Yeah.
When you reach one goal, you're gonna reach more goals. So
Mm-mm.
I believe that I also have a feedback, I from people that you want to do a lot of things. For me, life is a marathon. If you keep on focusing on into one thing, then probably tomorrow when you have achieved your goal, then you struggle to find another goal. If you can see life like a canvas, like what Lena has always
Mm-hmm.
her
Mm-hmm.
painting. So life is going to be very, very colorful. If you see that it's only one dot, then it's something that you might want to consider lah, changing your
Yeah.
mindset.
CA
Yeah.
CA pay a lot of attention today. He
Wow.
got what you said.
Thank
Yeah.
you, CA. All right.
Okay, and I think Guna has another suggestion for book, The Psychology of
Right.
Money by Morgan Housel, I think. So it's another
Yeah,
must-read book.
I want to share a bit about Guna. Guna is my good friend when I was in Asian Pacific University. Both of our
Ah,
lecturers. Yeah, he's one of the lovable guy. He's very, 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 very nice guy to learn from. Yeah.
awesome, awesome. And he's a giver as well. That's what I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-mm. Okay, so I think before we end tonight's session, we must thank Dr. Nurul for really sharing so many, wonderful tips. I've got 2 pages whole, written of all the things that you've
My
actually said.
God.
I have no idea
Okay.
how I'm going to summarize it for tomorrow, but I will definitely try. Okay, but definitely, I think a lot of us have learned a lot of value from today's session. For those of you who have really gotten a lot of value, do type, value so that we can actually properly thank Dr. Nurul also for her beautiful sharing today, right? And
Yeah.
I think to just very quickly move on, to wrap up today's session, I know that Dr. Nurul has, shared with us some really great reads, right? But at the same time, Rachel has prepared something. And Rachel, do you want to introduce what you have for them?
All right. So just now CA asked whether got hadiah right for becoming first. So
Ada.
actually, yeah, got hadiah. So today, what we did was we actually prepared a toolkit where you can actually develop yourself in terms of finance. It's very specified to financial resources. What we've done is we've listed down some books and also podcasts that you can start educating yourself and even improving your finances. So like Dr.
That's
Nurul,
right.
I mean, actually Guna just now mentioned in his comments, right? Money without purpose is just paper. So
It's
like
paper. Correct.
taking what Dr. Nurrul said, you need to also understand why you what do you call this, want to manage your money. You need to understand why do you want to earn more money, or even why do you want to
Yeah,
save. Without all these basic things, there's no point in doing anything. Action cannot happen. So these
yeah,
books will actually help you understand finance more, and also what do you call this, help you grow your finances, right? So it's a personal
that's right.
development in the finance realm. So if you would want this copy, it's a free copy. Just type growth, and we will get in touch with you to send you the link to get this book. All right?
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And I think because Dr. Nurul is such an amazing sharer, and I'm very sure that for those of you who have questions and didn't have quite the time to type right here, you can actually connect with her. Which is this is how you can connect with her. She's available on both LinkedIn as well as Facebook. If it's on Facebook, you can actually type in Warung Usahawan and you'll be able to find her. And in LinkedIn, just type in Dr. Nurul and you'll also be able to find her. Okay. And the other thing would be connect with us, both Rachel and I. We do write a lot on financial topics and sharing. So for those of you who like to learn a little bit more day by day, so do follow our posts. And then we just want to quickly remind you, the next session that we'll be having is in 2 weeks' time, and that's on the 22nd of September. And we will have Dr. David Netto, and he will be sharing more about COVID and beyond. So if you have any questions with regards to this hot topic of COVID, please get ready, your questions, and we can actually very happily, ask Dr. David for clarifications, especially, what we can do so that we feel safe when going outside. Okay, so that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you
Thank
so
you so
much
much
for
for coming.
joining us. And thank you so much, Dr. Nurul, for being on our show.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Okay,
Bye.
Take
Good
bye
care.
night.
everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Signing out.